Welcome back to Ironclad RC. Got the 120 scale Atlas Vans build back on the block. This is an all-wood kit build series I've been working on. In the last few episodes, we made the stainless steel wire drive, the stainless steel servo rudder linkage. I've actually taken all my electronics out of the boat. I've been prepping it up to put the skins on. We're going to skin the boat out in this video. Alright, I've actually cut one of the skins to size. I'm going to do the other side for you guys so you can see how it's done. There's these little like winglets back here that need to be kind of sanded out so it fits on the boat perfect. I've also got to go through and prep up the boat for the epoxy. Make sure everything's nice and flat. Make sure all my bulkheads are even. So stick around. Don't blink. Don't blink. Big B here with Ironclad RC. So last night I was working on these little doublers right here on the stringer wall. Okay, that's for the skin. Once I go to epoxy the skin on, okay, I just put a couple little strips of balsa in there and epoxied over it, but it needed something to sit on. You see that? If I didn't put those little doublers in there, there would have been nothing to support this skin. I also put doublers on the other side of the stringer. Alright, so I got doublers on this side for the skin, and then I got some doublers on the other side just so it has a little bit of contact. Also, whenever I was sanding this little gap a little larger for fitness to fit, I actually sanded a little too much on one of them. I don't think that, yeah, I think this is it. See how it's like split? It split that stringer in half, so I wanted to make sure I had something to glue to epoxy to. So that's something I did off camera. I also cut one of my little stands off my motor mount so I can have room to adjust my battery back and forth. So before, when I put this big battery in there, the battery would stop like right there. I couldn't push it up no farther. Okay, so last night I cut this part of my motor mount off. It's supported on this bulkhead and on this side right here, and it should be fine. But now I can adjust my weight with this battery forward a little bit more, all the way up forward. You see that? Alright, so my battery it'll actually be sitting like this, because once I have the skin on, it'll push that skin out. You see that? So I have the battery will be actually sitting about right there. So I actually need to come up with a battery holder for this too, which we'll do that after I get the skins on. That's no big deal. But what I've been doing, what I did last night off camera was see right here, I sanded my skin. This one's sanded, this one's not. I sanded it because we have this little winglet. This little winglet right here is exposed, and I actually like the little winglet. At first I didn't really like it. I didn't really care for the little winglet, to be honest with you. And I was gonna freaking just cut it off and not use it, okay? But I've actually grown to like it. I've grown to like the way it looks. And I want to I actually cut this top side so that the winglet is longer than what it should be, and I did it on purpose. Okay. Also I think I'll get a better fit with my skin with this top side sanded the way I have it sanded. All right, I basically elongated or took off the winglet, however you want to look at it, so that it accentuates this wing. It really elongates it. You know, you get to see more of it. You see what I'm saying? Instead of just, I'll show you what it looks like with the other skin. Instead of just like a little short run of a winglet. Alright, I think that looks kind of silly. Alright, I wanted to actually show it off. You know what I'm saying? I kind of wanted to show it off. If I'm going through the trouble of freaking keeping the winglet on there, might as well try to show it off and extend it, make it look like something, make it look cool, So that's what I did. That's what I've been working on. Now let me quit jacking my jaws. I just wanted to show you guys that part. Now I'm going to go through with my sanding block, make sure all my epoxies are off all the surfaces that I'm gluing to. Okay, when I put these sides on right here, they were like way up here, and I've actually sanded that off a long time ago so I don't break them off. But as I was sanding them, I would check for fit. I'll put my skin on, kind of pull it down, make sure there's no little holes or nothing. Checking for fit the whole time. So you don't want your bulkheads higher than the stringer, and you don't want the stringer higher than the bulkheads. Everything needs to be like perfectly flat. Whenever you lay that skin on, all the bulkheads and stringers should come in contact with that skin. So I'm just kind of going through. I taped it off whenever I put the spray foam in the boat. I taped it off when I did the epoxy. I just want to go through and make sure everything, like right here is a good example. I glued these little supports in for my aft deck, alright, and I did that last night and epoxied over it. So now I just need to make sure that it's flat, flush with these topside rails. Alright. Because if it's not, it's going to show through that skin, and you're liable to see it. You know, you're liable to see it. I'm going to go down these non-trips, make sure there's no foam in my way, sticking up. It may have got stuck to the non-trip here. I wish I would have left this spray foam sanded flush with the bulkheads. Alright, everybody had me freaking worried that the spray foam was going to keep expanding after I cut it. And I wish I wouldn't have listened to every freaking body, because it hadn't expanded, it hadn't shrank. I wish I would have just left it flush. But what I did after reading all the freaking comments and everybody giving me hell about putting spray foam in my boat, I went through and sanded it lower than my bulkheads. Listening to everybody else, I should have went with my gut feeling and just left my foam level. Alright, left my foam level and sanded it flush. I wish I would have just went with my gut feeling and just done it that way, but hell no, everybody wants to give me a hard time. So now when I put my freaking skins on, there's gonna be some give up there, and that's, I really didn't want that. And you know, listening to everybody else, I should have went with my gut feeling. But it's gonna work. It's gonna work. All right. So I'm gonna go through with a little piece of sandpaper also, like up here. Those skins, they tuck in up here. You want to go through and make sure you get all the little debris out of there so that it butts up flush. Also, anywhere epoxy could have gotten, you know, and it's like, you know, just go through it with a fine-tooth comb and really do prep it up. Really just prep it up. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so while you're sanding this skins down, all right, you need to keep in mind you're going to be putting this deck plate on too. So you need to keep, you know, make room for the deck plate, or give yourself some room and sand some of this off on the sides out here. See, this side's already done. See how pretty that looks. See how short this little winglet would be if I didn't elongate it. Alright, so keep that in mind too. Also, your hatch, keep your hatch in mind. You gotta be able to put your hatch on the boat, so make room for that. You know, there's a lot going on right here, and I really wish I wasn't videoing this, because there's so freaking much going on. There's so little room for error in this part. You've got to be careful when you're prepping your boat up for these skins. So I'm gonna start taking off. This right here. All right. Alright, so I've got it all prepped up. Okay, I've got it all prepped up. This is going to probably be the hardest part right here. Okay. I can actually push that over a little bit like that. But I've got to make sure that that's glued down. Okay, so what I might do right there to make sure I get a good seal is use some fiberglass hairs as like a filler instead of micro bubbles or micro balloons or whatnot. I may put some little fiberglass hairs in there and then weight it down, because there's no way to tape it, you know. But I've got a nice tight fit back here on my deck. Okay, any seams we could fill with epoxy or filler. Up here got a little bit bigger seam than I'd actually like, but like I said, we can epoxy that seam. Make sure you got a good seat all the way around. Okay, alright. I'm thinking about putting Veil all over it, because I did Veil on this hatch and it's strong. It's strong. Alright, got my epoxy mixed up. This is the 105-209 slow cure, 24 hours. The reason I'm doing that is so we can put it all over the bulkheads, put our skin on. We can flip the boat over, and that epoxy will run down and hopefully seal up all of our little seams. Okay, I've got fiberglass hairs that I save. All right. Alright, so I got these hairs. Gonna grab the hairs here in a little ball them up. Alright, and I'm gonna cut them to size like that. Cut them like fine. Just see what I'm doing here? Just cutting maybe microscopic little pieces of it, you know, to make a glue. It's almost like making my own micro balloons for epoxy. Alright, this is, like I said, this is an old school trick I've shown you guys in previous videos. I usually do this with fiberglass, but it works good with epoxy too. Alright, so I'm just going to go through and cut them all up. Alright, and then I'm going to ball these little pieces up and cut it again. Okay, see what I'm doing? Then I'm going to ball it up and cut them again. I want them to be microscopic. See that? Just trying to get them as small as I possibly can. Then we'll mix this with the epoxy. It actually makes the epoxy a glue, like a paste, and it dries the epoxy quicker. So, good trick to have under your belt right there. So I went through this whole boat with a fine-tooth comb, like I was preaching earlier. Prep. It's all 99.9999999% prep, 1% epoxy. Okay, 1% epoxy. I went ahead and put all my skins on 2 or 3 times. I put my skins on 2 or 3 times to figure out how the best way to do it, where to start at, where to end at, how I need to tape it. I taped them on there 2 or 3 times off camera. You know what I'm saying? And just to get a feel, so I'm not like going into it in the dark. When I had my panels on and my deck plates on, I went ahead and marked where my deck plates are going to be sitting. Okay, all the way down, I marked where my hatch is going to be sitting. That way I have a reference there, so I don't have a huge gaping gap. What else? Sorry, I'm like rambling on, you guys. This is an important part, and I don't want to get it wrong. So there's probably not going to be a lot of talking. You guys are probably like, oh shit, hell yeah. Oh man, play some music. Shut the hell up. But so I'm just going to kind of go at it, because I can't really freaking, it's involved. Okay, so I'm going to go at it. Here we go. I'm going to go heavy on this outside parts. I'm going to go heavy on the outside of the sponsons. Go heavy everywhere. That way this epoxy, once I'm done, I can flip it over, like I said, and it'll drip down to the top plate. Let's see how thick that makes it. It's like glue now. Right up the D-U-N, done. Yeah, I got this, I got a 10-pound barbell on it, a couple of old pistons, this nose cone from a lower unit on a 1-to-1 boat. See the nose cone there? That's going on my next bass boat. I use these blocks right here to push up on that skin on the sponsons. All right, kind of cut some little wedges out, you know, kind of wedge it up in there like that with this weight on there. These 2 blocks right here is pushing up on the center section where the hatch goes. All right, you see that? Kind of pushing up on that section where I couldn't put the string. I ended up taking the string off the forward section, but I kept it on the back section. It actually worked out pretty good. It was pushing the skins like in toward the deck plate and hatch, you know, and yeah, it just didn't work out as good as I planned it. But yeah, she's done. I'll show you what it looks like in the morning. I'm crossing my freaking fingers, y'all. Crossing my freaking fingers, okay? Jeez, what have I done? All right. Yeah, it's the next day, and I pulled the string off the back, took all the tape off, the clips, clothespins, and it looks pretty good. Got a couple little dip-de-doos where I had the clothespins at right here. There's like a little dip and a raised spot right there, which is fine. It'll sand and fill out. I had one place right there that didn't contact. See that right there? One little spot. Everything else is good. Everything else laid down on that stringer nice. Just that one spot so far. So I'm gonna mix up some 5-minute epoxy and shove in there with some little hairs and fill it in, you know, seal it off. I'm also thinking about going around, flipping the boat upside down like this and getting one of those bent paint brushes and like going around the edge with some 5-minute just around the edge of that stringer so no water gets in from, you know, the inside of the boat, which there shouldn't be much water in the boat. Oh yeah, it looks cool. It looks really cool. It looks rough, you know, because I got epoxy all over. I hadn't even sanded it. So what I gotta do now is just go around, trim up this access on my sponsons, you know, trim that up, trim up this guy right here, this guy right here. I gotta pry this piece of wood off where I had a heavy duty clip on there and I didn't want it to like mess up the bottom, so I put that piece of wood on there and it's glued in. Oh, good deal. All right. So yeah, I'll let you guys go, man. It turned out really good. It turned out really good. Oh man, I couldn't help it, you guys. I couldn't help it. I get to looking at it and I'm freaking itching to work on it, and it's time consuming to video and all that mess, and yep, I failed it. Couldn't freaking help it. Might add a little extra weight, but guess what? I don't care. It's gonna it'll be tough. I wanted to add some support. Oh yeah, looking good. Got it all trimmed up on the sides, got a veil wrapped around the edges. So let you go. We'll see you guys next time. Big B here with Ironclad RC. Channel where we tinker, test, and tune everything RC. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell, ring my bell. See you next time.